Let's go change some stuff, yeah? Hey, how's everybody doing here today? I hope everybody's doing really good. Hey, Dory, Gemma, Aiken, hello, hello, hello. Dory, my math teacher. Appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, it was fun to talk with, fun to talk with you guys a little bit this weekend. I was at my mom's house most of the weekend taking care of her, so. Yeah, an amazing weekend. Dory, wow. Something great must have happened. You gotta tell me, man. An amazing weekend. Went to work and made bark. There you go. That's how it works. Bark. All right. That's work. How are you, Gemma? Actually, a decent time in the UK? Hey, what makes it a decent time? I want to hear. I want to hear this decent time. I hope it's a good decent time. Are you guys able to get out a little bit more? Buenos dias a todos, indeed. Athena, hello. I hope you're doing really good this week. Yeah, it's really nice here. The weather has gotten a lot better. It's still a bit cold, but for Chicago, let's see, what is the weather today? Pretty good last weekend, so I'm gonna check my phone here. Let's see, 30 to, okay, it's not bad. It's about 0 over here, 0 Celsius. So yeah, not too shabby. Pretty good for this time of year here in Chicago. Everton, Southampton, you're scared? If Everton score first, they'll win. That's pretty much how that'll go. At least that's what I think. And Liverpool played Sheffield yesterday, so that doesn't count. Do I live in an apartment? I live in a condominium, actually. There's only like 2 levels in my condo building. So, but I'm part of a bigger complex of like other same type of buildings. So, living downtown, if you live downtown Chicago, for example, Aiken, that's pretty expensive. So, it's actually cheaper to buy than it is to rent. So, it's the surprising thing about there. Yeah, so I mean, like renting here, for example, if I rented my place instead of buying it, renting this place would cost like $1,200 a month, whereas like what I pay per month is about $400 a month. So I'm saving, I'm saving a ton of money. I'm saving $800. So yeah. If you ever think in the future you want to really be financially independent and you want to put down some money toward a home, definitely look into buying. Very important. And you can sell it again, right? Building up that equity. That's right. You just said, Alex, how you doing, my friend? Megan, good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's 10 to 4 when I say it's a decent time. Oh, okay. That's what you mean by a decent time, Gemma. I got you. Sometimes I say a decent time here in the U.S. You're like, oh, I'm having I'm having an okay time. I'm having a nice time. If you're hanging out somewhere or something like that. That's what I thought you meant, but I understand what you mean now. Rent out the house for $700, pay out $500 for the house we live in, and balance each other out. That works. If I ever move somewhere, you can rent it out. Yes, if you have enough money to support your rental unit and you have enough money to support your new unit, yes, that is true. But you have to make sure that fits within your financial constraints, because remember, you'll be a landlord. That means there'll be certain repairs you'll be responsible for. So you need to be sure that when you leave your house in perfect shape. Young Toast, how are you, my friend? I hope you're doing good. Brianna, hello. Hey, how you doing? How you doing today? Stats again? Of course, stats again. Of course, we're here for some statistics. Yes. Today we're gonna be talking about permutations and combinations, and be talking about the lottery, talking about how you can find out the odds behind winning the lottery. So we'll be talking about that here today. Talking about how to pick committees, or probabilities of picking committees or races or whatnot. So yeah, I mean we could talk about that there. Aiken redeemed to ask a question. Go ahead, Aiken. You can ask any question. I don't know why I got redeemed twice. Like, I'm not sure. What do you watch on Netflix? Now, I don't have Netflix anymore. So, I did have Netflix before. But if I were to probably watch anything on Netflix, I don't know if Black Mirror's on Netflix. Or that was a pretty good show. So, I'm doing really good, Brianna. I'm doing really good. I think my rabbit's scared of my voice. Oh, tell your rabbit to thump twice. If that is indeed the case. If your rabbit thumps twice, then tell your rabbit I'm sorry, and thump once for acknowledgement. Have I decided on a Prem team yet? No, I have not, Aiken. I have not decided on a Prem team yet. He was thumping. I can only imagine. Kristen, I tried to merge my Twitch accounts and lost my other account, so I'm not a moderator. Oh. Well, let's change that, shall we? Let's make you a mod. There you go. Hey, Chaz, there you go. I get your second dose of COVID today. Yes, Brianna, yes! Very good, very good. I hope to get my first COVID, hopefully later this week, my first COVID shot. So, he likes carrots and likes bananas as well. Chaz, hello, how you doing, my friend? Come on, you blues, okay. Ellis, hello, how you doing today, Ellis? I hope you're doing well. Brianna, your kittens are watching me. Well, I approve of everything kittens, everything cats. Yes, I love kittens. I love cats. I love dogs too, mind you. I'm not being biased here. I love cats because I grew up with a couple of them. I'm doing really well, Ellis. I'm doing really well. Here for another rip-roaring day of statistics. Some stats. We're going to talk about the lotto. We're going to talk about permutations and combinations. Wait, why should I pick Everton? Why should I pick Everton, you know? I don't understand why Everton has to be my choice. I'm not sure why Everton has to be my choice. I have one complaint about Everton, by the way. Jessica, good morning. Jessica, good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes. Pick Everton for middle of the road. I'm going to pick... if I picked Everton, I'd have to pick Richarlison for being the flapper of the year, you know? If you even touch Richarlison, he'll fall over and just scream in pain. Might as well touch him on the shoulder, he'll hold his head in pain. It's just ridiculous. Cool Dad, good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope your weekend was well with you and the family. I hope you are doing well. I swear, every time I watch the guys, like, you touch him on the shoulder, you go like this, he's like, like, come on, dude. Like, stop asking for a foul every 3 seconds, dude. Every 3 seconds. All right. He's a great talent. He needs to stop flopping. All right. He needs to stop flopping and just show his great talent. Chadwick Boseman won the Golden Globe this weekend. 'Twas good. 'Twas deserved. Absolutely. I don't watch the award shows or nothing, but if Chadwick Boseman won, definitely deserved. 100%. 60 grand Seamus Colon. Well, it's true. Everton's nickname is the Toffees. What's not to like? I don't know. But Everton is like the top 6 team who's upper tier mediocre. Flopping doesn't make them a bad player though, Salah. Flopping doesn't make the game fun to watch. Okay? I don't need to see that consistently. You know, I'd like to see some physical play. See, if there's one place you don't want to be stuck in, it's upper tier mediocre. Upper tier mediocre always gives people just that slight bit of hope, but you never quite reach there anyway. Plus, if you're in the world of sports over here, an upper tier mediocre team gives you a lower draft pick, which means building up your team from an upper tier mediocre position is a little tough. Thank you, Brianna. You have yourself a wonderful day, Brianna. I hope you have a lot of fun. I hope you get that second shot. All right, and we're gonna come back and hopefully we're gonna do good things there. New stadium in 3 years, so I could go to the first game in Bramley Moore Dock Stadium. That's a nice name. I like that. Could go with Burnley if you like a team in the danger zone. I could go with a team like Fulham, who's always in the danger zone, but wants to be in the danger zone. Hey, Brianna, you know I'm here for you. It's all good. All right. All right, we're at 11 o'clock. We got to do this. Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. All right, time for the. Are we doing chapter 6 today? Actually, Megan, we got a couple more sections here of chapter 5. Well, technically one section. And then we'll then after that will be chapter 6. So that's what's on the docket here for today. All right, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Intro time. All right. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back. Welcome back to Monday. Hopefully, you're a nice weekend. All right. So today we are going to finish up chapter 5. Okay, so chapter 5 here we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about permutations and combinations here today. Last time we finished up a couple of sections. Last week, I should say, we finished up a couple of sections using the general addition rule. All right, we talked about that. We talked about how to multiply probabilities together. All right, so we talked about that. All right, so that wasn't overtly too tough. We did a little bit of group work there, kind of working together. Perfectly fine. Everybody's peachy keen. Great. All right. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be dealing with, like I said before, permutations and combinations. Now, what do permutations and combinations mean? Permutations and combinations deal with what we call counting techniques. Now, you're probably saying, well, counting, that's really easy. You just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's counting. But in this particular case, counting talks about how many ways we can do a certain task or do a certain something. Now, if we could do a certain something here and we could figure out how many ways we can do it, all right, we can figure out probabilities just based on that fact alone. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look here and how we can do that. All right, here to main screen. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to be doing here today. So today, what are our objectives? We're going to use the multiplication rule here. What did I put multiplication rule? Yeah, okay. So use the multiplication rule here. We're going to use the permutations. We're going to use combinations. We're going to talk about permutations with non-distinct items. We'll just briefly talk about that. And then we'll compute some probabilities with permutations and combinations. So we're going to do a lot of different things here today, a lot of different scenarios that we're going to be looking at here. But in reality, in its actual practicality, it's actually very straightforward. Okay, so that I can guarantee you. So let's take a look here at the first question here on the handout. So the first question here on the handout says, what is the fundamental principle of counting? So the fundamental principle of counting works like this. It says, if a task consists of a sequence of choices in which there are P selections for the first choice, Q selections for the second choice, R selections for the third choice, and so on, then the number of ways the task can be done is P times Q times R times ... ways. Okay, that's basically what you're essentially doing here. Now you're probably saying, okay, so there's let's say, for example, let's put an example here together, and let's say we have let's go with a couple of examples here. Actually, I'm gonna bust out the paint tool. Come on up, paint tool for this week. Hey, all right, all right, all right. So let's do an example here. Let's say, for example, here we have three scoops of ice cream. So we have to give 3 scoops of ice cream. All right. So let's say we have 3 scoops of ice cream and we say, all right, we could get 3 different flavors, okay? So we have to get 3 scoops of ice cream, we get 3 different flavors. All right, so let's say, how many flavors do we have? Well, let's go with the very old Baskin Robbins kind of example here. So Baskin Robbins here in the U.S., again, merged with Dunkin' Donuts. Everybody knows Dunkin' Donuts, but Baskin Robbins was an ice cream store to start off with. They labeled their brand at 31 flavors. All right, so that was their kind of thing. All right, Wade, what's going on, my friend? Just in time. All right. All right, so let's say there are 31 flavors. Well, how many ways can we pick 3 flavors? So let's say they have to be 3 independent flavors. So they have to have 3 different flavors. So let's just kind of go down the line here, okay? Let's just keep it as simple as possible. All right, so there's 31 flavors we have to select from. All right, we have to pick 3 different flavors here. So let's say this is the first scoop. All right, this is the first scoop, this is the second scoop, and this is the third scoop. Well, how many flavors do we have here to pick for the first scoop? All right, why don't you guys write that? Why don't you guys put that in the chat there? How many flavors for this first scoop do we have to select from? Is the question. Yeah, not the odds here, Kristen. Just the flavors, just the amount of flavors. So I'm not talking about probability here. I'm talking about just plain flavors. Yeah, just 31. Yeah. Okay, just to be on the safe side here, we're not talking about probabilities. We're just talking about, hey, I got 31 choices straight up. Cool, right? All right. Now the next scoop I got to pick a different flavor. Okay, I don't got a choice, so I can't pick the same scoop again. All right. So I can't pick the same flavor again, I guess. So how many flavors do I have now? So for the second scoop, how many flavors do I have now, knowing I can't pick the same? Okay, good. That's right, 30 flavors. So now I have 30 flavors left over. Okay, perfect. And now I got the third scoop here. All right. Now I can't pick the same two flavors I did before. Not allowed to do that. So how many flavors do I have to select for now? 29. Okay. So I picked 29 here, so I have 31 times 30 times 29. So if I'm picking like the group of flavors here going in that order, 1, 2, 3, okay, I'm going to do 31 times 30 times 29. So I could say there's 26,970 ways I can pick 3 flavors. Okay. If I were just go 1, 2, 3. Right. Exactly. Now we're going to take a look at where, let's say, order matters or order doesn't matter here, Megan. So I like that you said that there because combinations and permutations have distinct definitions. So we're going to talk about that here. But in our case here, this is essentially what we're going to be doing. So what I've reflected here is permutations where we put stuff in order, but we'll see how it works with combinations here, where it's not in order necessarily. All right. Any questions about that one? I hope that one's pretty nice. Hopefully that's pretty easy. Any questions? Yes, no? Type no in the chat if you have no questions. No, no, no. Oink indeed. Now I'm swell. Ooh. Thanks, Cool Dad. All right. Let's try another one. So let's go with social security numbers. So here in the United States, because I do have some international flair. Here in the United States, we talk about social security numbers. Okay, this is a way we identify ourselves according to the U.S. government. All right. Now, social security numbers. Basically, all numbers are between 0 and 9, and we have basically numbers are always appropriate like this. We got 3 numbers to start. We got 2 numbers in the middle, and we got 4 numbers at the end. Okay, so any combination of numbers here, again, with this basic setup, okay? So you could have, again, 0, 0, 0, 0 all the way across. There you go. Yes, Ace. This is, yeah, this is stats class. This is true. You stick around and follow me if you like. Teach stats here twice a week. So, all right. So, let's take a look here. How many ways? Okay, let's figure out here. So we're just figuring out how many possibilities that we can have for social security numbers. Okay, so we're just figuring out how many possible social security numbers that we're going to have here. So let's take a good look here at the first spot. How many numbers can I put here in the first spot? How many numbers can we put here in the first spot? So just this first number right here. Now careful here, Kristen. 9? 0 to 9, right? So we have 10. So assuming we can use all of them, we can have 10 numbers, right? That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about that. Yeah, don't forget that 0 also counts as a number, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so 10 possibilities. Looks like 9. I don't disagree, but we actually have 10 numbers here. So we have 10 numbers here for the first one here. Take it easy, Ace. Yeah, some numbers can start with a 0 there, Dory. That part is true. There may be restrictions in the internal system, though I don't know much about that. But I have been aware that some of them will stick. Ace, thanks for the follow, my friend. So it'd be 10 all the way across. That part is definitely true, Megan. So right, 10. I would have 10 choices for the second number. I'd have 10 choices for the third number, 10 for the fourth, 10 for the fifth, and so on and so forth here. So here we're just going to multiply straight across here, okay? We're just going to multiply straight across. We have 3, 5, and 9. So 10 to the ninth power here. So whenever they say, oh, how many possible social security numbers that you can have, well, you can have 10 to the ninth possibilities. So if you do 10 to the ninth power here, it's just 1 followed by a bunch of 9 zeros. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you talk about it here, there are 1 billion possibilities for social security numbers, all right? So in order for the US to run out of possibilities, okay? In order for the US to run out of possibilities of social security numbers for identification purposes, you would have to have over 1 billion people, a 1 billion person population. All right, something that the US won't actually approach anytime soon. All right. All right, so something like that really helps keep the randomness. All right, there you go. Not too hard. It's the same thing with license plates on cars. Okay, typically you have, I believe, 37 possibilities per slot because you have 0 through 9 and A through Z. So you have actually 26 letters and 10 numbers. So, 36, sorry. You have 36, and then you take 36 to whatever power. Again, however many slots that you have for each number or letter on the license plate. Some countries may have 7 possibilities, some countries have 8, whatever the case may be. You take 36 to that power. It's pretty interesting when you can use the fundamental rules of counting. Okay, so we have that. That's just another type of question there that we can take to the bank. All right, now, having said that, yes, the only countries that have over 1 billion are China and India. Well, I highly doubt that the United States is going to make it there, to be perfectly honest with you. Uh, so developing countries do have an issue. Statistically, the more developed a country is, the lower your birth rate is. So currently, the United States is below a replacement birth rate. So we will actually lose population over time rather than gain population over time. So unless we have more immigration to make up for that loss difference. So that is one of those things. So if you talk about other countries like Japan, Japan has a population of 110 million, but they expect that population to drop to, I don't know, they probably will expect that population, I believe it was like 70, 80 million, in the next 20, 30 years. So because we limit the population, there's a lot of I could spend a lot of time just talking about this, Wade. There's a lot of factors that are included in there's a lot of factors that are included about why there is less of a population, why you have an under 2 birth rate within a country. A lot of that has to do with, like in Japan, for example, a lot of that has to do with like work culture. If you notice a lot of work culture, you're spending a lot more time working than you are raising a family, and so that generates different social attitudes over a period of time. And then people have to work more, people want to work more, and then they have less incentive to have kids because it's just harder to raise kids with less money. If you're having a hard time taking care of yourself, then taking care of a family is actually much, much tougher. So there you go. That's correct, Ace. That's correct. All right. In any case, I could go on all day. There's a lot of factors I've seen here in the U.S. that could separate that argument out. In any case, though, let's talk about making this a little bit easier to do. Yes. All right. So the next thing that we need to talk about here, um, the next thing that we need to talk about here is what is factorial and its notation. What is factorial and its notation? Now, the notation here for factorial is you'll see this exclamation point. Okay, so this exclamation point here, this is college level here, Ace. Um, so you'll see this exclamation point. This exclamation point is a notation for a factorial. Now, what is the definition of a factorial here? If we talk about n factorial here, then n factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times all the way down to 3, 2, and 1. We also have a note here that 0 factorial does have a definition here in mathematics, and 0 factorial is equal to 1. Okay, so that's just a rule of math. 0 factorial is also equivalent to 1. So for example here, if you had 5 factorial here, that's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And then you would go ahead and multiply that out. All right, and in this case here, you would get 120. Okay, so, but what are we going to be using these factorials for? Well, let's talk about how that comes to pass. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is, where do these factorials factor in? We're going to talk about permutations. Feel like don't worry. All right. So the number of arrangements of so we talk about a permutation here. What is a permutation? It's the number of arrangements of R things chosen from a pool of N things where order matters. And we do have a formula associated with this here. So we have the formula associated with this here is what we say NPR. That's the notation here for permutation. So N is the pool and R is what you're choosing from. So like 5 permute 3, for example, if you want to kind of call it that. So what is that equal to in this case? That's equal to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Okay? And again, repetition is not allowed here in a factorial case. Now, I'm going to show something off here for an example. Use it so many times just for the laughs? Well, good. Uh, I think it does have a lot of its uses, that's for sure, Ace. So, for example, the first example that we did with the 31 flavors of ice cream actually uses permutations. Okay, or if we talk about another example here, let's look at another example here. And I want to just be sure we have that there. Check that here. Okay. So let's go with number 47. So we're going to do an example here, which is number 47 in the book. Okay. Hashtag factorials. Respect. All right. So we're going to look at 47 here. All right. 47 says we're going to form a committee here. All right. So let's go ahead and read this off here, and we'll do this together. All right. 4 members from a 20-person committee are to be selected randomly to serve as a chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. We'll call it secretary, administrative assistant. So the first person selected is the chairperson, the second, the vice chairperson, the third, the administrative assistant, the fourth, the treasurer. How many different leadership structures are possible? Okay, so again, in this particular instance here, in number 47 here, okay, right on, my friend, right on. Okay, so what are we going to do here in this case? Ooh, that's not what I wanted. All right, there we go. Let me go ahead and clear this out here for 47. Let's not drag the thing across. Technology, and it's great. All right. Oh, who did something? I don't even know what happened. So, what happened? Oh, Fainer, $5, dude. You don't even have to donate. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Oh man, can I zoom in the book? Yes, I can. I certainly can. Let's see if I can zoom in here. There you go. How's that? Is that a bit better? I think that'll do. De nada. Yeah, wow. Let's see. Here's a little something because I've never had a teacher in my life use Twitter or Discord, and I probably never will see such a sight ever again with another teacher. If I do in the future, I'll come back and give you $10. Vader, man. You're too kind, my dude. You are too kind. Holy smokes. I forgot that donations haven't been changed yet. Oh man. Holy crap. I did have a donation thing, but I guess I haven't changed that in my thing yet. Yeah, wow. Thanks, buddy. I don't deserve $5, let me be honest with you. You guys already pay me. So I feel really bad, but thank you, Fainer. You're a top-notch guy. Thank you, man. That's really, really super kind of you. I'll be honest with you. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Holy cow. All right. I gotta get over myself. Let's try this, do this right here. uh I just want to limit the swearing there, Ace. So if you could I'm gonna have to block that. It's okay. I just limit the swearing here in the channel. That's okay. I wanna be nice about it. So no worries. I'm not against you here, trust me. I just limit the swearing in the channel. Okay. Thanks, buddy. That's really super nice of you. Okay. Yeah, let's try to buy a Subway sandwich with that. That's true. All right. So let's think of it this way. There's two ways to think about this here. We have 4 people that we got to pick from a 20-person committee. So the way we're going to do this here is, again, we're going to pick 20 people. We have 20 for mute, and we're going to pick 4 people from this committee. Now, let's talk about one thing here that is very important. One thing that is really important here is that order does matter here, because once we pick somebody to go in a particular position, let's say we pick one person to go into a position of being a chairperson or vice chairperson or administrative assistant or whatever, then that person can't be put into another position. Okay, so once that person gets slotted, they can't be slot into another position, so they can't be 2 positions simultaneously. All right. So if we do this out here, well, I'm glad, Ace, you can stick around and goof off with me. um, okay, so if we go back to our handout here, we're going to go ahead and do 20 permute 4. So that's going to be 20 factorial divided by 20 minus 4 factorial. So just like so. That's correct. That's correct, Megan. So we're going to have 20 factorial divided by 16 factorial. Notice that 20 minus 4 here is in parentheses here before the factorial. So in this case here, we want to do that first and then apply the factorial after that. Now, the way this is going to work here is, again, you could do this on your calculator here. And it doesn't take too much effort to do. I'm going to show you how to do this on the calculator here momentarily. But I can show you how to do this by hand. I'll show you that it's pretty much the same thing we did in the very first example we did together with the ice cream example. So essentially 20 factorial is 20, if we use the definition here, is 20 times 19 times 18 times 17 times 16. Now this goes all the way down to 1, or this is down to 16 factorial. So in a sense, you could just cancel out the 16 factorials. You don't have to write out all those numbers. And you're just left with 20 times 19 times 18 times 17. And so if you do that out really quick here, then we get 116,280. All right. And there we go. We got it. All right. Again, this is tantamount to basically saying how many people, come as the chairperson. How many people can we select as the chairperson? Well, that's 20 people. How many people as the vice chairperson? 19. How many people as the administrative assistant? Okay, 18. How many people as the treasurer? 17. There you go. So we're taking 20 minus 4 here, part of the formula here for permutations here, Feiner. So the reason why we're subtracting here is we're subtracting the 4 choices that we made, since we're selecting 4 people to be as part of this committee, and that order matters here. So you notice that the way we did this here is exactly the way we did this here, and the results that we get here are exactly the same. All right. So there's 116,280 ways to select a 4-person committee in this instance. All right. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I go ahead and use the calculator for this? Let's go ahead and look at that here. Let's see what we can do with that. All right. Let's go to the calculator. Let's have some fun. All right. All right. So, here's the calculator. Do I have a calculator to recommend? For these problems here, of course, the 8384, TI-83, TI-84 calculators that I can recommend for a lot of the things that you do in probability and statistics. ACE. Okay, so n is always the larger number. So n is always the larger number since it is the pool you select from. Okay, r is the smaller number. R is the smaller number since you limit the amount of selections. So it will always be big number, like blank, and then a P or C, and it'll be R here. So it'll have a smaller number. So that's how it'll always go. That I can guarantee you. This I can guarantee you 1,000%. Any other questions before I move on? No problem. It's always nice you can guarantee something in math. That's true. I can't. Well, I can't really. I can't really argue with that at all. I can't argue with that at all. That's so true. That is so true. No questions? Okay. Oink indeed. Looks like the oinkers are out today. That's good. I like what I see. Nothing wrong with that. All right. That's true. Okay, let me move on here. Let me go to my no face cam here. Uh okay. All right, so put to the no face cam here. So you can actually figure this out via your calculator. So if you have your calculator in front of you here, the way you can basically figure this out via the calculator is the first thing that you want to do here is you have to enter it in correctly in the calculator here. We're going to hit the number 20 here. So even if you have an old calculator, new calculator, doesn't matter. You're going to do it the same way each way. We're going to enter in the number 20 because we want to put 20p4 here. We're going to go ahead and hit the math key. All right, so go ahead and hit the math key here. And we're going to go to this second to last submenu here, which is PROB for probability. I'm going to scroll over to probability here. And there you can actually see numbers 2, 3, and 4 here. We'll look at number 3 here in a second. But number 2 here talks about permutations, NPR, right? That's exactly how we looked at our notation there for permutations. NCR, which we'll look at a second, will be dealing with combinations. And then, of course, this is factorial if we want to use factorial directly. But we can kind of do everything at once. That's fine. So we could do NPR here. So it may format it like this. The older calculator will just have the letters NPR there. That's fine. And we could just go ahead and hit the number 4 here. Old calculator, new calculator, doesn't matter. Just hit 4 and then hit enter. And then it'll pop up your answer here to be exactly 116,280. Okay, so that's how we can come up with each one of those. That isn't so bad. All right. And yeah, pretty easy peasy. All right, pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy. Any questions about that? I hope everybody's kind of got that down. Question mark, question mark, question mark. The probability screen. So you hit math, and then it'll be this submenu right here, PROB. And that's why we show them both ways there, Ace. Can't always rely on a machine. That's why you have to learn the basics. Always important. Oink indeed. Man, the Team Oink is out in force today. Fundamentals fundamentals, and more fundamentals. 1000%. And then NPR, right? Yes, meow. That's correct. Then NPR. Remember, you have to have the remember that you'll have to have the number put in before then, Feiner. So remember, you have to put 20. You have to put 20, then math, and then go to NPR, and then go 4, and then you can hit enter after that. So make sure you have a number before and you have a number put after, so that you have something in for N and something in for R. Wait, meh? Like meh? Like bah, 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 like sheep go bah bah. Do we have to solve? Do we have to not solve? No, Tristan. So Tristan, the answer to that question is that you don't have to solve for 19, 18, 17. Those are already factored in when you do it on the calculator. So you don't have to do it for that. So that's why it's 116, 280. So that's already factored in. Okay, cool. Any other questions? Any other questions before we move forward? Nay, nay indeed. Okay. All right, good beans. Okay. No, indeed. Okay, so let's look into the next problem here. All right, so that's talking about permutations. Let's talk about combinations. Okay. Now, a lot of things in mathematics revolve around the idea of combinations. All right. So, the number of arrangements of R things chosen from a pool of N things where order does not matter is NCR, or the number of combinations. Okay, so that's going to be N divided by R factorial times N minus R factorial. Again, repetition isn't allowed. Now, let's talk about why combinations are so important, why combinations are a little bit more, are just as important here. So let's take our good example here. So let's take our example of the lottery. Specifically, let's take a look at Powerball. Okay. So let's look at that here. So let's take a look at the Powerball. The Powerball, a very popular game here, as we all know. So let's take a look at the rules here for Powerball. All right. And so let's see here. There is the root here. That wasn't it. Okay, anyway. Well, you know what? We'll just go to the... All right. Hey, real world examples are important here. So let's talk about the rules for Powerball here. It says select 5 numbers, 1 to 69 for the white balls, and then one number from 1 to 26 for the red Powerball. Okay? If we match all of them, we win the grand prize, regardless of how much money that is worth. Again, played in many states, as everybody knows, including here in Illinois. All right, so that's fine. So let's follow the rules and let's see how many combinations that there's going to be, all right, in this particular instance and why we have to use combinations. Now, we have to use, let's go ahead and write down our rules here. All right. So here we are going to have our five white balls. We'll have our one. So we have 1 to 26 for this, and then 1 to 69. Nice for this. All right. So that's fine. Okay. All right. So I know you want me to support Everton, but we'll have discussions later about that, Chez. Okay. Now, let's talk about this particular example here. Now, let's say for example here they do the drawing. Okay, so they do the drawing pretty much live, a couple times a week or whatever. And let's say it comes up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just depends if I'm busy, my friend. All right. So let's say the drawing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the drawing here for the Powerball. Now, let's get a simple yes. Let's put in let's say the balls that come out during the drawing here could be 2, 1, 5, 3, 4. Okay, or 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. Okay. Now I'm gonna put up I'm gonna put up a little bit of a poll here for this one. Okay, so let's put up a little poll. So let's put up a small poll here for 1 minute. Are these the same? Okay, so let's put it up here. Are these the same? Yes or no? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the same as 2, 1, 5, 3, 4 is the same as 1, 3, 5, 2, 4? Are these the same? Go ahead and post your answer here. Are these the same? Yes or no in a lottery? Are these the same? Yes or no? Tell me what you think here. Poll's at the top there, Ziggy. I'm willing to well 12 chips bucks on yes. That's if I did the prediction there, cool data. If I did the prediction there. It's at the top there. It's a definite solid maybe, says Michael. That's fair. Okay. So let's talk about this here. Let's put it in a real life situation. Now, if I were to buy a ticket, okay? If I were to buy a ticket and I said, okay, if I were to buy a ticket and said, all right, I get a ticket, I pick my numbers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the Powerball number. I don't care what the Powerball number is here. But okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's say the balls come out, during the drawing and they come out 2, 1, 5, 3, 4. Well, on my ticket it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The balls coming out says 2, 1, 5, 3, 4. Right? Well, aren't they the same numbers? I just have to match the numbers, right? It doesn't matter what order that they're in. I just have to match them. That's all that matters. If it's a real combination, then the order wouldn't matter, right? That is exactly correct, Kristen. Right? Because I just have to match them. I says, do I have a 1? Why, yes, I do. Do I have a 2? Why, yes, I do. Do I have a 3? Yes. Do I have a 4? Yes. Do I have a 5? Yes. Okay. Well, order doesn't matter. Even if 5 came out as the third number, okay, who cares? I matched a number that's on my ticket, and I've effectively won. Great. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? So, in a sense, that's why we use combinations here. Because in combination land, essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the same as 2, 1, 5, 3, 4, which is the same as 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, which is the same as any manner of writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a different way. All right? If we write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a different way, they all count. They all count as one thing because they're just the same thing represented in a different way, but they all have the same meaning at the end of the day. So essentially, that's why combinations here are important because I don't care how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is written. They all mean the same thing to me. Fine, that all counts as one particular thing. Great, I'm cool. All right. So that's why, as you see here on the screen, you see R factorial. R factorial here is basically the R factorial that you see here on the screen. Now I'll move back here to my regular screen. R factorial here on the screen is exactly why we need this extra little bit compared to what we have for permutations. Is because of the fact that we need this R factorial here to take care of those extra countings. All right. So the real question is, well, how do we go about doing this counting here? Well, it doesn't work the same as permutations, so it's not going to be like 69 times 68 times 67 times 60. No, that's not how it's going to necessarily work. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to do 69. We're going to do 69, choose 5. Now, typically with combinations, we say choose or combo 5. So 69 permute 5 or 69 is choose 5. So for combinations. So 69, choose 5. We're going to choose 5 numbers here for our 5 white balls here. And because the Powerball here is a unique ball, it's again it has its own separate tub of numbers. So when you pick a number from the Powerball pot, that's a completely separate pot of numbers from 1 to 26. So we're going to multiply this by just straight up 26. Now, if we look at the calculator here per se, let's look at the calculator here in this instance. All right. So let's go ahead and do this out, and then I'll come back to the other screen I just wrote that down on. We're going to do 69, and we'll hit the math key here. We'll go to 69. We'll go to number 3 for 69 NCR. 69 choose 5. And we're going to multiply that by 26 because there's 26 possibilities for the Powerball. And then we're going to get our answer here. So the number of combinations of the Powerball is equal to 292,201,338. That is correct, Aaron. Perfect. So when you say, hey, I want a chance to win the Powerball, let's talk about that here for just a second. So in this case here, if we do this out, exactly as Aaron has correctly stated here. So you say, okay, all right, what is my chances of winning the Powerball? Well, it's going to be 1 out of 292,201,338. So if we do that out on the calculator here, yes, cool dad, that's correct. That is correct. Your odds are better in guessing someone's social security number and swiping their identity. This is very true. The odds are better. You are correct, sir. It's actually much easier to do. So if we actually do that out here, let's take a look at what we have here. We have, well, actually, no. Actually, I take that back. Well, actually, it could depend if you have a bank of numbers in Social Security because it's one billion. That's not unsettling at all. Actually, it's 1 billion combination. It's 1 billion, so technically you have a 1 out of billion chance, but really you have a larger chance than 1 billion because you could probably just find a number that works. Pretty simple. So, as opposed to just one for the lottery. So, so the chances of you winning is 3.42 times 10 to the 9th power. 10 to the negative 9th. So essentially you have, this is your chance of winning. The 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your chances are going to be 0.0023, 4, 5, 6. This is your chance of winning in percentage terms. There you go. Yep, that's your chances of winning the lotto, of winning the Powerball here, is that 0.60342. There you go. However, all is not lost here, ladies and gentlemen. All is not lost. So, even though the lotto may be a little bit hard to do, okay, probabilities can be adjusted accordingly. If you want to actually have better odds of winning, then I can show you something here really quickly. Now, if we go to the Illinois Lottery website here, one of the things about a state website lottery that is actually fairly important is, by law, a state website lottery has to tell you certain things. For example here, they could talk about instant winners, okay? So we could talk about instant ticket winners, or again, claims or things like that, or games or things like that, okay? We could talk about instant wins. Where is it here? Here we go. Notice what it says here. Wondering what prizes you can win? Check out our unclaimed list. By law, you can view the type of surprises that are still available in the pool for certain games that are basically out on the instant ticket pool. So essentially you're saying, well, how do I increase my odds of winning on an instant ticket? Well, you can see how many unclaimed prizes that there are, and the more unclaimed prizes that there are in a limited ticket pool, okay, because each instant game has a limited ticket pool, then that means that, well, you can basically pick and choose what instant tickets you can buy in order to increase your odds of winning. So, for example, would I buy this $10,000 jackpot? No, I probably would not, because many of the big prizes are already gone. So I wouldn't waste my dollar on that. I pick and choose which ones that have the most prizes available in the pool, and then basically I can hopefully get a prize out of it. Does it guarantee me a win? By far and away, no. The odds are still pretty bad, but at the very least, you can adjust and choose which one you want. That's actually not so bad. Right. So now that you know that you have a winner's pool, right? Now, cool dad, you can actually strategize before you walk into a gas station and adjust the odds hopefully in your favor. Okay? Welcome to statistics. You ever want to know how to manipulate the odds just a slight bit? Here you go. Here's a way you can manipulate the odds just a slight bit. I'm not guaranteeing you a victory. I'm not guaranteeing you anything. What I am guaranteeing you is that you'll just get that little extra bit. Any of those look promising? Some of these just came out a week ago, so they're just kind of. Some of these came out a week ago. Don't say that they're all rigged. The house always wins, but if you for betting now, to be honest, Wade, if you are a good bettor, if you're a good bettor in reality, in real life, if you're a good bettor, you'll win 55% of the time. That's the best bettor. Best bets, we win 55% of the time. Counting cards is a way to affect those percentages above that 55% of the time. That's why places don't like counting cards, but it is very effective. You just need a few people to help out as well. But that's something that 55% of the time, even the best sports bettors, you are aiming for 55% victory condition. Anything above that, then they're lying to you. So probably, let's see, out of these $1 and $2 tickets on this first page, there's multiple pages, by the way, of all these. Um, let's see, what's a good $1 ticket? Here, this is a good $1 ticket. 5 times the cash. 5 times the cash, good $1 ticket. I go by that. That's actually pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's been out 10 weeks, so the pool is there, and there's not a lot of prizes that are taken, and it's only $1. Yeah, there you go. That's probably my best on just looking at this first page, okay? I'd probably pick that ticket to be my first one. Yeah, see what happens. If you win 10 grand, cool. You won 10 grand. Yes. This class paid you back. You paid the college paid me, and then I paid you back. And then that's how it works. uh oh, that's actually a good one as well. $2 ticket, It Takes Two. It Takes Two. That's actually a pretty good $2 ticket. And that one's not bad. It Takes Two, not a terrible $2 ticket. Not the greatest, but still pretty decent odds. So you're not even old enough to bet? You're old enough to bet, Megan. You signed with the Cardinals with Hopkins. There you go. DeAndre loves that. Respect. You're just curious who pays you to run classes on Twitch? Ah, yes. Actually, Ace, this is an actual college course that is running on Twitch right now. So I'm actually getting paid by a college to teach this class. So it's remote learning. So I just decided to do Twitch instead of Zoom and Google Meet. Oh, makes me awesome. I'm not that great. Just a regular dude. You have to use Google Meet? Sorry to hear that, buddy. All right. We got to do another example, though. Another example is on the horizon. So I got to do this next one here. All right. Hey, why not? Everybody wins, right? All right. Let's take a look at number 62. Actually, 62 or which one I want to do. Okay. 1, 2 here. Okay, yeah, let's do 62. 62 is a pretty good one. All right. Hey, Fingal, how are you, my friend? ZJ FIFA, how are you doing, my friend? All right. All right, 62. Hey, thank you for the follow, ZJ. Oh, really? That's great, Athena. Wonderful. Oh, well, that's not good, ZJ. Keep this account, please. That would be good. All right. 62. Selecting a committee. Suppose that there are 55 Democrats and 45 Republicans in the U.S. Senate. A committee of 7 senators is to be formed by selecting members of the Senate randomly. Okay. Yeah, there have been some issues about the age thing, so let's just hope you clear that up there, though. All right. So letter A. What is the probability that the committee is composed of all Democrats? Okay. So we have 55 Democrats and 45 Republicans. We're trying to pick a committee of 7 senators to form this particular random committee. Now, in this case here, we want a probability in this instance, okay? So exactly how do we figure out the probability? Well, just like we talked about before, what we talked about before here is that we need to figure out how many possible ways we can form a committee using our Democrats. So 55 P7? Remember, in this case here, does order matter? Remember, it's just a committee of 7 people. So it's just 7 random people here. So does order matter here in this committee of 7, Athena? That's the question. Does order matter here in this committee of 7? Yeah, order doesn't matter here. If we had particular positions like a chairperson or a vice chairperson or whatever, like we did in that previous example, then I would say yes. Okay, then order matters. Then I would say, okay, that's fair. All right, what you're saying is absolutely 100% fair. But in this case here, I'm just randomly picking 7 people to just be like in like a conference room and then be part of some random committee. So Mary, Bob, and Jane is the same as Jane, Mary, and Bob. Okay. So in this case here, we're going to have 55. We have 55 Democrats in the pool. And we're going to choose 7. However, ladies and gentlemen, this is a probability. And as we know, in a probability, it has to be between 0 and 1. Okay? So this is the number of ways we can pick a 7-person committee from the 55 Democrats that are in the Senate in this particular example. Okay? But What we need to take that out of is the total number of ways we can make a 7-person committee overall. Okay, so this is like, again, the 55. Oops, sorry, not 55. I should say. We're going to choose, this is basically choose 7 from 55 Dems. What I care about is I want to, excuse me, I want to divide that by the total number of ways. So what are the total number of ways to select 7 people? How do I figure that out? How many people are in the pool overall? And how many people how do I write that out? So let's think about it this way. How many total ways to select 7 people from the total pool? How can I figure that out? How many total ways that we could select 7 people from the total pool of people? Well, how many people total are in the Senate? Let's answer that question. How many total people are in the Senate? 100. Okay, so there's 100 people in the Senate, right? There's 100 people in the Senate. Now, I'm taking those out of the pool of 100 people, right? 435, haha. All right. 435 is the House of Representatives, my friend. Wrong branch. So we have 55 choose 7. That's to pick the 7 from the 55 pool of Democrats. But the way we select 7 from the total pool, okay, so the total ways to select 7 from 100, right? Because there's 100 people in the Senate. We're just picking 7 from those pool of 100 people. So this is what essentially when we want to put in the calculator here in this instance. Let's do that right now. Okay, so we're just going to do this out here. So we got 100. Let's do this here. All right, we got 100, choose 7. Let's go with math, and we'll go to probability. We'll go to NCR here. So 100, choose 7. Divided by, oh no, why do I have that backwards? Sorry, 55, choose 7, sorry. 100, choose 7 when I want on the bottom. Let's do 55, choose 7. My fault, my apologies. I'm thinking about it backwards in my head. That's not good. Okay, I want 100, choose 7 down here. And so now I'm going to go ahead and get both of those, or if you want to do it separately, you can do that too. And here we go. We get ourselves a probability here. So 0.0127. Okay, so 0.0127 if they all end up to be Democrats. So that's fine. All right, so that's letter A. Let's look at letter B. Let's look at letter B. Letter B says, what is the probability that we get all Republicans? So this is probability of all Dems, okay? So this is all Dems. So the probability of all Republicans, all Repubs. So again, just to give you a reminder here, we have 55 Dems, and 45 Repubs. All right. So What's the probability of all Republicans? What do you guys think? What's the probability of all Republicans? How would we figure that out? Probability of all repubs. Okay, and how did we get that, Mega? How did we get that, Toaster? I agree with this answer, 100%. 45 choose 7, 100 choose 7. Okay, good. That's right. Okay, so those answers there, absolutely correct. Toaster is correct. Aaron's correct. Athena is correct. Good. That is correct. Good, good. Yep, all right, perfect. All right, so indeed we get 0.0028. All right, so that's the probability of all Republicans. All right, let's make up the last one here. Okay. All right, see how probabilities kind of fall out rather quickly. So it's actually really nice about how quickly they fall out. Let's do the probability of last one here. Probability that the committee is composed of 3 Dems and 4 Republicans. So 3 Dems and 4 Republicans. That is exactly how you're supposed to do it. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it. So in reality, probably it's going to be a mix of Republicans and Democrats with the even pools of people here. So let's say, what's the probability that somehow through this random committee we get 3 Democrats and 4 Republicans? So 3 Democrats and 4 Republicans. What do we do there? How do we get our probability here? And we'll give you a hint for this one. It's still going to be out of 100 choose 7. So that part's going to be true. So you don't have to worry about what we're taking it out of. That part will stay the same here. Of course, what matters here is this numerator part here. So we get probability of 3 Democrats and 4 Republicans. 3 Dems, 4 Republicans. Hmm. 3 choose 7 times 4. Don't think so in this case. Remember, Toaster, use your pool of people here. 55 choose 3 times 45 choose 4. There we go. That's correct. Very good, Aaron. So Toaster, let me go back here for just a second. Remember, first of all, the number that comes first will always be bigger than the number that comes second. So from the 55 Democrats, we're going to choose 3 of them to be part of the committee. Then we're going to multiply here. What's important here, probably the toughest part is remembering that you have to multiply here, not add. So be careful about that. Do not add. We are multiplying here. We're multiplying by 45, choose 4. Again, 45 Republicans in the Senate, and we have to pick 4 of them to satisfy this particular result. So that's exactly what we're going to set out and do. So let's do 55. Let's do 55, choose 3. And then we'll multiply that straight up by 45, choose 4. And then we'll go ahead and divide that by 100, choose 7. Okay, and so here we get our final result here of 0.2442. 2442. Okay, and that is going to be our final answer for that problem right there. Okay, any questions about that? Any questions at all? Hopefully that's pretty straightforward there. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Wink indeed. Okay. No questions? Okay. All right. Let me do. Yeah, I gotta do that. All right. Woof indeed. Woof. All right. I do have one more here, and then I got a couple things I'll need to talk about here. So just give me a minute here. Okay. So number 5. Let me quickly do number 5. Number 5 says, what are the number of permutations with non-distinct items? This says the number of permutations of n objects of which you have p of one kind, you have b of another kind. I know b's not in there. Or I should have put. I don't know why I put p. Should put a. A of one kind, b of one. I think I was thinking p, q, and r here. Anyway, uh, like b. Anyway, roughed. All right. B of a second kind, Z of a kth kind. Now, the way this is going to work here, let's talk about how this works, okay? So I'm just going to quickly do an example. I'm not going to go over this too hard here because it's not really what we're focusing on too much in this section. An example here is if we have a flag. So let's say we have a flag of 3 colors, okay? So let's say we have a flag of 3 colors and we have, okay, that particular flag has green, red, and blue. Say green, red, and blue. Okay, so just as an example here, let's say we have green, red, and blue, and let's say we could put like this flag here. We could put like six different colored flags. So we have a flag of 3 colors here, 3 green, color, and blue. So we have the flag can have six colors or 6 things on it. How do I want to put this? I got to put this correct. So try and put this right. I don't sound like a complete goof. Let's say can have different arrangements. There we go. That's probably. So the flag can have different arrangements using the colors. So let's say we have 5 green, 3 red, and 7 blue. Okay. How many arrangements can we have? Are possible of 10 flags. All right. Okay, so how many arrangements are possible of 10 flags? So basically what this is saying is essentially it's like I got 10 flags on a pole, and then I'll have like in a box I have like say 5 green flags that are exactly the same, 3 red flags that are exactly the same, 7 blue flags that are exactly the same. And I'm just asking, well, how many arrangements are possible with these oh, actually not 10 flags, I should say. How many do I have? 15 flags. How many arrangements does it take to arrange these flags, even though they look exactly the same? Again, these is referencing to non-distinct items. So this would be like 15 factorial. So if I use this here, I'd be 15 factorial divided by 5 factorial times 3 factorial times 7 factorial. Again, this is just basically just like an arrangement of flags that have exactly the same color. They're not distinct in any way. They're produced exactly the same way. But the way we want to figure out how many arrangements that we have here at the end of the day is basically using this last a permutation with non-distinct items. Again, it's not something that we're going to be using too much here necessarily, but it is something that can be used in a couple of problems for sure. So I'm just kind of pointing it out there and be like, okay, there it is. Good job. So that's essentially what it can come down to at the end of the day. All right, any questions about that? Posture check, yes, yes. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Athena. Apologies. Go back to question one. Yes, I can. Let me figure out what this is really quick. That's 3 and 7, so that's 8. Okay, so I have 8 divided by. All right, so here I get 360. Okay. In any case, let's go back to question 1. Here you are, Jessica. Here you go for question 1. Any questions about today here? Any questions? Any questions? Hey, Melanie. We're doing some statistics. Statistics. Melanie. Oh. I put just math. Why didn't I put math 102? I'm like, wait a second. What am I doing? There we go. Explain things a lot better. Good. Thanks, Megan. I appreciate that. I try to keep it as simple as possible. I'm a little dumb as bricks, so. Oh shoot! I kept you guys a little bit longer than I intended to. My apologies. Okay. Just as a reminder here, section 5.6, everybody, is just a recap section of everything we did in chapter 5. So it's just basically just all of the section 5.6 is just a recap section. So you notice that there's no questions necessarily from that section because it just talks about questions from 5.1 to 5.5 anyway. Some sections are going to be like that where it's just like a recap section. So I'm just letting you know about that now. There isn't anything brand new in 5.6 that we haven't talked about in sections 5.1 to 5.5. So in effect, that's essentially going to be the end of chapter 5 right here. Okay, so just letting you know ahead of time, so that way what we do next time here is we're going to go ahead and do chapter 6. That's what's on the agenda. So, all right. So we got another rip roaring 102 class in 10 minutes. If you want to stick around for that, you can go ahead and do so here. That's perfectly fine. There you are. There you are, Feiner, just for you, my friend. If you guys want to stick around for that, please stick around here. Otherwise, I am going to be back in 10 minutes. I'll keep this up. If you'd like to chat for 10 minutes with me, you can. I don't mind. Otherwise, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, and we will see you on Wednesday. We will see you on Wednesday. All right. Athena, number 2. Number 2. Let me zoom out here for a second. Don't worry, I'll be back in 10 minutes to do some more statisticos. More statistics. Melanie, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Will Aaron be able to break Zeke out of prison? Will Zeke die before Aaron gets to him? Will Aaron eat Zeke to gain his power? Find out on the next Titan Ball Z. There you go. I'm the best I know. Respect. Transition out here. Alrighty. Yes. Got it? No problem, Athena. Day nada. Day nada. I'll go buy these scratch offs and see how it goes. You see what happens. I mean, like I said, strategize ahead of time, and you know, like I said, you're gonna move the odds slightly a bit. You know, slightly a bit in your favor. So I mean, see what happens. Like I said, I'm not gonna guarantee you a victory. There isn't a foolproof way to get you a winning ticket every time. Of course not. But yeah, if it's something that you want to give it a try, and that's fine. Goldfish, my friend, how are you, my friend? You doing good? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We got a class in like 5 minutes, but I'm here sitting and chilling like a villain. Ziggy, you have yourself all right. You heading out, Ziggy? Ziggy, thank you so much for coming on here today, my friend. I will see you on Wednesday, okay? Athena, we'll see you Wednesday, all right? You take care of yourself, all right? Awesome, my friend. Awesome. We'll see you then. Today, I'm never going from now. There you go. You're never going outside? Wait, why? Why are we not going outside, Goldfish? You gotta go outside, my dude. Gotta enjoy a little bit of sunshine. Go outside, have a little fun, Goldfish. Enjoy yourself. Do nice things. Nice things. Let's see. One of your mates got from primary got mugged now from I can't post that because of the because of the language there, but I read that. Okay, that's fine. You feeling a little mad about that, Goldfish? Or I can understand that. I guess how would I put this? You know, Goldfish, there is a decision that you have to make here. Okay? So let's be honest here for a second. You saw something like that happen. There's a decision that you have to make here with yourself. I get that. That's fine. You don't have to trust going to the shop. That's fine. But here's the decision that you have to make, Goldfish. Do you want to continue to hang out with people like that? Or are you going to forge your own path ahead? Maybe you don't have to hang out with people like that who go off and mug other people. I get that. You 100% don't have to do that, and I'm not going to ask you to do something like that anyway. That's kind of silly. But what I am saying is that, you know, I think this is a good time for you to evaluate what kind of circle that you want to go ahead and establish for yourself, you know, to get your positive vibes in order. You know, so you can start trusting again, and you can start going to you know, 2 different places you can go outside. Okay, that's fine. But it certainly has affected you, Goldfish. So it's just a matter of how are you going to I agree. There are things that we don't like that are in the places that we live. I agree with that. But you don't have to necessarily be in that one spot all the time, right? Remember, you got a whole life ahead of you, Goldfish. Okay, so if it means that if this is not an environment you want to be in, how do you get out of that environment? And how do you establish, you know, start establishing your circle of people who you can trust, and you know, start to be independent of those forces that are trying to drag you back in. I said maybe you start trying to think about something like that, and then maybe you'll get more positive feedback. Fobs, yes, Fobs. Yes, Fobs, how are you doing, my dude? I hope you're doing really good today, Fobs. There you go. Fobs, my friend, I hope things are well with you this wonderful afternoon, evening where you're at. I hope things have been chill with you and your fans and everything. You know, Fobs, one of these times I'm gonna have to come out to one of your shows. All right, I'd love. Good. Now I know there's a slight delay. I know there's a slight delay. I have to fix things. I'm not very good at technological things. Things. But I'll try something to see if it'll make it better. I don't even know anymore. It's a 5-second fix in Streamlabs, is it? Okay. If you can help me, that would be great to see if it syncs up. How do I know how many seconds it's going to take? But you can tell me what to do here, Fob, since you're on right now. What should I do? I'm in my advanced audio settings, so I have my sync on my microphone at 700. Should I fix that to be lower? Because I could make that lower. Maybe, because this is what I got here. Here, I'll show you what I have on my screen. Let me show you. Hazelnut, how are you? This is what I got right now, Fobs. All right. Is that I wonder if 500. Yes, I can clap for you. Dad's coming out of the hospital Thursday. Yes. All right, one big motion. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay, let me change this to. Let me change this to. Should I just keep this as 0? Maybe I keep this as 0. Let's see what happens. Yes? No? Is that better? I hope that's better. Spot on? Okay. Just missed your English class. Oh no. Thank you, Fobs, my audio engineer. Fobs, when am I gonna be allowed to watch one of your shows, Fobs? You gotta tell me, Andy. Always my audio engineer. When the world isn't at a standstill, fair. I will definitely come watch one of your shows. I think we're gonna have some fun. I think we're gonna have some fun, my friend. I know that you keep the positive vibes going, my friend. You keep the positive vibes going. I respect you. I respect you. Class average for the test? I actually haven't seen anything. Well, actually, I can take a look. I don't know what the class average for the test is yet, though. To be fair. So the answer to your question there is I don't know yet. Apologies. Bobs, you're such a nice guy, man. What a nice guy. What you got planned for tonight, Fobs? What's your plan for tonight? More singing, more dancing? Or are you playing some Valorant? Or what you have on the agenda, my friend? Yeah. Switch this out here. Here we go. There we go. Got it. All right. Hopefully that fixes things. Hopefully it's not crazy. Okay. All right. All right. Crazy. All right, I think we got people here in the chat. I think we're good to go. We're starting a little bit late, but that's okay. We're gonna do some crazy things today. Some nice and crazy things. I've already gotten audio help thanks to my unbelievably talented friend of Bob's. So let's see how we can conduct a math class in the best way possible. Let's do it! Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Monday. Hopefully a nice weekend. All right, so for today we're going to be finishing up chapter 5. We're going to do sections 5, 5, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to pick up where we left off last time. Last time we talked about the general addition rule. We did the multiplication rule. Okay, we looked at wording there with like at least. Okay, we did a lot of different things there. All right, we're in really good shape here today. So let's talk about what we're doing here today. Today we're going to be talking about counting, okay? We're going to talk about how to do some counting here in statistics. We're going to talk about using the multiplication rule. We're going to talk about using permutations, combinations, permutations with non-distinct items. We'll briefly talk about that, and computing these probabilities. Okay, so let's talk about some counting here. Now, of course, counting here doesn't mean just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting can mean a whole lot more than just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we're going to figure out how many ways it will take for us to do a particular task. So let's say there's a particular way to do a certain task. we're going to figure out how many ways it's going to take us to do that particular task. And then we can find out some probabilities just based on how many ways we can put something together. Okay, so that's kind of the real goal of what we want to do here today. So let's talk about how we can go ahead and do that, and let's see how it works out. Okay, so let's look at question number 1. Go ahead and move forward here. What is the fundamental principle of counting? Okay, so the fundamental principle of counting says if a task consists of a sequence of choices in which there are P selections for the first choice, Q selections for the second choice, R selections for the third choice, and so on, then the number of ways the task can be done is P times Q times R times blank, blank, blank number of ways. Now, you're probably saying, well, hold up a second here. What exactly does this mean? Well, again, we have a number of choices that we can make here based on the number of ways that we have for each individual selection. So let's take a look at some simple examples. Let's take a look at a simple example about how this works out, and we'll see how we get back to this here. Okay. All right, so let's do our first example here. Okay, so let's say in this particular instance, we have flavors of ice cream. Okay, so let's say we want 3 scoops of ice cream. Okay, maybe that's what we kind of want ice cream here. We like, I want all the ice creams all the time. I said that's fine. That's fair. I like all the ice cream all the time. All right. Me, no, but maybe you do. And we want three different flavors. Okay, so we want 3 different flavors. Because maybe we're like the kind of people's like we want variety. Okay, not all mint chocolate chip, but maybe I want just more than that. Fair. Okay. Now, let's say I have a number of flavors of which to choose from. Now, let's say, for example, let's go to the old example here using the old Baskin Robbins example. The Baskin Robbins was bought out by merged with Dunkin' Donuts. Well, everybody knows Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin' now. But Baskin Robbins back in the day, replay had always said you have 31 flavors of ice cream. So let's say there's 31 flavors. Okay. So let's talk about each individual scoop. Okay. Back in my day. Back in my day, son. So let's go first, second, and third here. Yeah, I mean Baskin Robbins used to be its own store, so then it merged with Dunkin' Donuts, became Dunkin' Baskin, But yeah, it used to be just its own thing way back in the day. So this was a long time ago. Oh, long ago in a land far, far away. Yeah, Baskin Robbins was bought up by Dunkin' Donuts. So, um, all right. So let's look at the first flavor here. So I picked the first scoop. So let's say I picked the first scoop. How many how many flavors do I have to pick from for the first scoop of ice cream? You guys post that in the chat here. How many flavors? How many flavors do I have to choose from for the first scoop of ice cream? 31. That's correct. All right, very good. So I have 31 flavors to pick for the very first scoop of ice cream. Fair enough. All right, absolutely true. Okay, let's look at the second scoop of ice cream. Now, I can't pick the same flavor as I did before. Okay, I'm not allowed to do that, right? That's right, Kylan, yes. So let's take a look here. Let's look at the second scoop of ice cream here. I can't pick the same flavor as the one from before. So how many flavors can I select from now for the second scoop? 28? No, I already picked one, so Flavor Flav, Flavor Flav. So I have how many choices? I have 30 choices. That's correct. I have 30 choices as my second scoop, right? Because I already picked one. I had 31 choices, but then I can't pick that flavor again. So now for the second scoop, I have 30 choices of which to select from. Okay. So I have 30 choices of which to select from for the second scoop. So 31 here for the first scoop, 30 choices for the second scoop. How about the third scoop of ice cream? How many choices do I have now? I'm not allowed to repeat the first two flavors. That's correct, Hazelnut. That's right. So 29 flavors for the third. So now, this is how we're going to use our multiplication rule here. I have 31 flavors for the first, times 30 for the second, times 29 for the third. And this is going to show how many possible scoops that I can have of ice cream. So I can have 26,970 different ways I can get 3 distinct scoops of ice cream. Okay. So if I have 31 flavors and I want 3 distinct flavors, I have 26,970 possibilities to make 3 different scoops of ice cream in this instance. Any questions about that? Any questions? Again, if you don't have questions, type no in the chat there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Your computer glitch, can you explain again? So, as you can see here, we had 31 for the first one, 30 for the second, and 29 for the third, since we couldn't use the first two. So all we need here is we have 31 times 30 times 29 using our multiplication rule. And then we just said, okay, we have 26,970 possible ways to get 3 distinct scoops of ice cream. So that's what we have going on here. There you go. All right. Hopefully that makes it a little better. No problem. Here to help. Not on that end? Okay, very good. All right, excellent. Excellent. Yes. Yes. All right. Now, having said this here, we are going to run into 2 different situations here. So this is kind of like a basic case here. This is like a base case here. But we're going to run into 2 situations here. One, like in this case here, where order matters, okay, where order does matter. Or 2, if order doesn't matter whatsoever. Okay, so maybe I cared about which way that the ice cream flavors go, or maybe I don't care where the ice cream flavors go. Maybe I don't really care whatsoever. So we're going to look at both these cases where order does matter or order does not matter here. Okay, so let's take a good look here back at the handout. All right, and we're going to look at the next question here. Look at the book as well. All right, now for us to, in order to understand this here, we're going to need one notation here, and that's talking about factorial. So let's look at number 2 here. Number 2 says, what is factorial and its notation? Now its notation here is going to be the exclamation point. So the exclamation point here is going to be the notation here for a factorial. Vendetta, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you. So factorial here is going to be the exclamation point. Now, what is n factorial? N factorial here is going to be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times ... times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, so that's basically how that's going to go. We just take that number, multiply by each subsequent number down. And so if you see down here, we have 5 factorial is like 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. You can multiply that out and you get an actual answer here of 120. Also, one of the side notes here is there is a 0 factorial here, and 0 factorial in mathematics is considered equivalent to 1. So 0 factorial, just a rule of math here, 0 factorial is equal to 1. All right, so it is something that is used from time to time for sure. So especially in different counting calculations. All right, in any case, let's take a look here at the first question after that. Let's look at question number 3 that says, what is a permutation? So the permutation here is the number of arrangements of R things chosen from a pool of N things where order matters. So here we have the notation here, which is NPR. Okay, so we have N, which is the larger number. P stands for permutation, and R is the smaller number here. And that's equivalent to N factorial divided by N minus R factorial. Okay, and again here, repetition will not be allowed here for this process. Now let's take a look at where we're going to apply here a permutation type of example. So let's take a gander at that. All right. We're going to do number 47 here, and we'll read this off here together so we can at least get a good grasp about why this would be a permutation example here. All right, so number 47, it says 4 members from a 20-person committee are to be selected randomly to serve as a chairperson, vice chairperson, administrative assistant, and treasurer. The first person selected is the chairperson, the second the vice chair, the third the administrative assistant, and the fourth the treasurer. How many different leadership structures are possible? Okay, now in this case here, we have indeed, this is a case where order matters because once I select someone, okay, so I have a pool of 20 people, but once I select one person, the first person, that first person is going to serve as, say, the chairperson of this random committee. Okay, so again, I'd be like, okay, here you go. I have the first person I'm going to pick randomly. Okay, there's no rhyme or reason why I'm picking this person, but I said this person randomly is going to be the chairperson. The second is going to be vice chair. Next person, the administrative assistant. Last person is the treasurer. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So, how do I want to do this out here for number 47? Well, let's take a look at that. So, in this particular instance, I have a pool of 20 people, and I want to permute 4 of those people because I'm selecting 4 of those 20 people to form this particular committee. Okay. Okay. Now, for us to go ahead and do this out, let's follow the formula that we have here. So we have n factorial. N is going to be the bigger number here. This is n. This is r. We're going to have 20 factorial divided by 20 minus 4 factorial. So here we have 20 factorial divided by 16 factorial. Remember, parentheses come first here. So parentheses, I have to do the 20 minus 4 first before I apply the factorial part. So don't forget about that. It's very important. So we have a 20 factorial divided by 16 factorial here. So we have, again, 20 times 19 times 18 times 17 times 16. Now, what's nice about factorials is this is very predictable. So based on the definition, this is 16 factorial, and you could divide directly by 16 factorial. So you could just divide by 16 factorial here. All right. And then we could just multiply 20 times 19 times 18 times 17. And so here we're going to get 116,280. Now you're probably saying, whoa, 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 there's multiple ways to do this problem. I'd be like, yes, there is. Definitely there is, 100%. So how do I go about doing this slightly a bit differently? You notice what we got here in this case, okay? We got 20 times 19 times 18 times 17. Now we can replicate this answer here using permutations much the same way we just did for this first example here. So this first example that we did here, we could do this exactly the same way as we did the first examples. The first example is just another way to talk about permutations. Okay, so essentially it's like, okay, I have to pick 4 people as part of this committee. And again, each person has to be slotted in a particular space, okay? First person's the chairperson, second person's the vice chair, third person's the administrative assistant, okay? Fourth person is the treasurer, says that's fair. So I'm gonna be like, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I said, all right. If I look at it this way, I said, okay, well, I have 20 people that can be put into the first spot. I have 19 people that can be put into the second spot. I have 18 people because, again, I've already used 2 people here to be put in the first 2 spots. Now I got 18 possibilities. And I got 17. And then I'm going to end up with the same result here at the end of the day. 116, 280. So it works exactly the same way as we just did in the very first example there. There is no difference about how I conducted here and how I conducted from before. Okay. Now, before we move forward here, we're going to use the calculator here in just a second. Are there any questions about that? Any questions at all? Nope. All right. Okay, let's just hope that makes sense, at least for now. Working carefully here, so. All right. Let's look at a way we can figure that out via the calculator. Let's look at this via the calculator here. Now, we could also do this on the calculator here. Let's talk about how we can go ahead and show this off here. So, let's say I want to figure out 20 permute 4 on the calculator. So, if you have your calculator out right now, let's go ahead and do this together here. Okay, the first thing that we want to do here on the calculator, we're just going to enter in the number 20. Let's enter the number 20 here. Doesn't matter if you have an old calculator, new calculator, you're going to do it the same way regardless. Okay, so same process, same button presses, nothing will change. So we're going to hit 20 here as the first part. And we want this P part here. Now for us to do that, we're going to hit the math key. So let's hit the math key here. And we're going to go to PROB, this subsection here. Okay, so we're going to go to PROB. And as you can see here, we have the 3 options we can kind of focus on. We have NPR, which is for permutations. We'll also look shortly here into combinations. And as you can see here, we also talk about factorials. All right, so here we got NPR. All right, so this is what we want to choose here since we want permutations. We go ahead and hit NPR here, and there we are. All right, and so we get 20 permute, and we want 4. Go ahead and hit enter, and we get exactly what we have here off to the right of 116,280. Any questions about that? I know, isn't that nice? You're like, oh my gosh, woo! Like, yes, fancy things are fancy. I like fancy things. I'd be like, yes, fancy things are quite fancy. I approve 1000%. I could touch the buttons and bam, I got it, baby. Woohoo! I don't think you want to multiply it 20 times. That'd be pretty bad. Finally, a math class that promotes calculator use. Cut to the fancy song. Let's see. Let me cut to the. Here, I got one thing for you. All right. I got to the. All right. I got it. I got it. We'll go to. We'll go. We'll go here. Here's our. Here's our fancy. Here's our fancy right here. Okay.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon?
But of course. Grey Poupon, one of life's finer pleasures.
See? Fancy. Absolutely fancy. Oh, that's a classic commercial. Holy cow. Yes, 1991. What a time. You have any Grey Poupon? But of course. There you go. Put the. Too good. All right. Well, I'm showing my age. I'm just showing classics, okay? We could go down the classic route. All right? We could go down the classic route all day long. I don't mind showing my age. We had some good commercials back then. Excellent commercials. All right? Commercials that you remember. Okay? For the nostalgia, that's why you remember. Yes. But that is the original. That is the OG. Like here, I got one more. Let me see if I can find this one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I can. Let's go to the Eagle Man commercial, right? So I think most people remember this.
What's that?
Do you have insurance on this car?
No.
It must be Eagle Man.
I've got something for you.
Oh, look at those low rates.
You see? You gotta love Chicago classic commercials. So classic. Oh my gosh. Eagle Man is one of the most classic of classic Chicago commercials. You can't go wrong with Eagle Man. Oh, look at those low rates. Look at all those chickens. Oh my goodness. Too funny. Too good and too funny. You were scared. Why? Why are you scared? You live in Chicago. That's a Chicago classic. That's a Chicago classic commercial right there. You mentioned Eagle Man, everybody knows what you're talking about. It's that commercial. It's that commercial right there. Okay. That commercial is like a Chicago is Chicago legend. That would come on with like the Victory Auto Wreckers commercial, you know. You know, the Victory Auto Wreckers commercial is just as good. Or the Empire commercial, you know. With the Empire man. All right. Go. Oh, look at those low rates. All right, anyway. All right, let's do another problem here. You gotta do the problem. Got more problems to do. All right. Okay. Let's do another example here about more combinations, or more types multiplication rule here. Let's take your social security numbers here. All right, so remember that social security numbers here are going to be 0 to 9. Okay, and again, we have multiples of social security numbers, right? So each social security number is an identity for a person here in the U.S., as everybody knows. Okay, so can anybody tell me here, for each one of these numbers here, let's take a look at the first number here for a social security number. How many possibilities do you have for the first number in a social security number? How many possibilities can I put here for the social security number here? I have 9 or 10. One of those is true. Remember, 0 isn't included. So remember that 0 is included. So it would be, I actually have 10 numbers here. I have 10 numbers. Okay, so remember I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I have 10 numbers, okay? I have 9. I don't know why I put 10. But I have 10 numbers. So I have 10 numbers for each spot here. Being a dumb. All right. Less of a dumb. So I have 10 numbers for each individual spot. So I have 9 of these numbers here. So again, how many do I have? How many possible social security numbers I have? I have 10 to the 9th numbers here. And so I'll have 1 billion possible combinations. Or I put 90. I have 1 billion possible combinations for social security numbers here in the United States. So that's why having a social security number that looks rather short actually makes sense, because there's 1 billion possibilities, okay? So in a, like I said, in a population of nearly 400 million people, we're not going to reach 1 billion anytime soon. So it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that, folks. All right, so just pointing that out there. In that case, kind of thinking things through about how to use the multiplication rule as well. All right, good stuff. Okay, now let's move on to the next question here on the handout. Okay, let's move to the next question here on the handout, which is talking about combinations. Okay, so let's talk about combinations here. Okay, so how does combinations work? Number 4, what is a combination? A combination is the number of arrangements of R things chosen from a pool of N things where order does not matter. Okay, is NCR, okay, C for combinations, or we say choose, which equals N factorial divided by R factorial times N minus R factorial. Now you're probably wondering, why do we have what is the key difference here? The key difference here is in the definition. Order doesn't matter whatsoever. Order doesn't matter at all when it comes to a combination. Okay, I don't care about order at all. And a lot of things fall underneath this particular category. All right, so let's take a look at a good category here where this actually can fall underneath. So actually not going to erase that. All right. So let's be something practical here. Let's look at the lotto. In particular, let's look at the Powerball. So Powerball jackpots, they can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever. But what we're going to find out here today is taking a look and seeing how we can actually figure out what the odds are for us to win the Powerball jackpot is going to be. All right, so we're actually going to look at this here. Now, in order for us to do that, though, of course, first and foremost, we need to figure out how the Powerball works. let's go to the Powerball rules. Okay. So going to the Powerball rules here, it says to select 5 numbers from 1 to 69 for the white balls, and then select one number from 1 to 26 for the red Powerball. Okay, so we have to pick 5 white balls, 1 to 69, and one Powerball here from 1 to 26. Okay, so if those are the rules that we're given, let's go ahead and see how many possible combinations we have in order to make this happen. So bring up our paint tool here. I'm gonna have our 5 white balls here. It's gonna be 1 to 69. And 1 red Powerball here from 1 to 26. Okay. So let's say, for example, here, let's go with an example here for the lotto part. But yeah. Take it away. All right. So let's say, for example, here, we pick the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we buy our ticket here. We pick the 5 numbers, the 5 white ball numbers here from 1 to 69. We pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, okay, that's fair. Whatever. All right. Let's say the drum goes around here in the drawing. So they do like the public drawing here. They take the drum, they roll it around. They're like, blah, 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 blah. Here you go. And they go like, okay, maybe the drum goes, 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. Or maybe the drum goes around as 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. Okay, or whatever. Now, let's put a little poll here for just a moment. Okay, so I want to answer this question here. So so the question becomes are these the same? Yes or no? So are these the same? Yes or no? So answer in the poll above here on chat. Do you think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the same as 5, 3, 2, 1, 4 is the same as 1, 3, 5, 2, 4? You can post yes or no in the chat. Do you think that these 3 guys here are the same? Yes or no? Go ahead and take a minute here to decide. You got like 30 seconds actually, but go ahead and vote up top, above in the chat. Believe that these 3 things are the same. Yes or no? Yeah. All right, time's almost up. All right. We got 60% of people said yes, they are the same. We got 40% people said no, they are not the same. Okay, so in this particular instance here, the answer here is yes, they are the same. Now let's talk about why they are the same here. So for the people who said no, that's okay. I don't mind if you said no here because it's a little confusing. But let's put it in a realistic perspective here. You bought the ticket, and on the ticket, it says, on the lotto ticket, it says, you pick the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now remember how lotto works. Even in Powerball setting, in lotto, you have to match the numbers that come out of match the numbers that are selected out of the drum. Now note the word here. The wording says you have to match those numbers. So essentially, I don't care how those numbers come out of the drum. I says, okay, let's say the first number that comes out of the drum is 5. Do I have a 5 on my ticket? Well, yes, I do. So, great. I have a 5 on my ticket. I matched it up. All right, the next number that comes out is 3. Do I have a 3 on my ticket? Yeah, I do. Okay, great. Next number is 2. Do I have a 2 on my ticket? Yeah, I do. Next number is 1. Do I have a 1 on my ticket? Yes, I do. Okay, great. Next number is 4. Okay, do I have a 4 on my ticket? Well, yes, I do. So I've matched all 5 of those numbers exactly as I fetch all 5 of the numbers. Like bingo, yes, exactly. Right? Order doesn't matter here when it comes to the lotto. As long as I have those same 5 numbers and I match them up exactly, well then I win. Right? That's essentially how lotto works. So in this case here, if I look at 1 2 3 4 5 and I look at 5 3 2 1 4 or I look at 1 3 5 2 4 whatever, all of those guys are the same exact thing. There is no difference between any one of these 3 particular writings of 1 2 3 4 5. There is no difference at all because they match up exactly. Okay, they don't match up in order necessarily, but order doesn't matter. As long as the numbers match up in any order, great. I'm going to be a winner. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking to just be a winner in those particular categories. So in this case here, that's why we're using combinations, because combination says, well, I don't care about the ordering here. I don't care what order. As long as I match it up, I'm cool with that. That's perfectly fine. So what I want to do here is I have 2 sets of things going on here in a Powerball. In a Powerball, I have 69 numbers. I'm going to do 69, choose, and I'm going to choose 5 of those numbers there. Again, though, the one thing is that if order doesn't matter here, I want to count all of these possible combinations of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should all count as 1. All right. So I want to be sure that all of these count as one possibility, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the same as 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. Those should all be put together, smushed together. Those should all count as one possibility, okay? As one counting. So I don't want to count too much here. I'm going to do 69, choose 5 to remove that. So that's why in the formula here, why we have the extra little bit of r factorial. That gets rid of that that double counting that you do there, like it is in this case. So here we have 69, choose 5. So that's the 5 white balls here. And we're going to multiply that by 26. Again, 26 here because the Powerball is in a separate drum. And then you pull out a ball in the separate drum, which is 26. 26 possible balls there. Still fine. That's its own separate thing. That's its own separate deal. All right, so we're just going to keep it as separate. So 69, choose 5 times 26. So let's do that on the calculator here. I'm going to put 69, hit the math key, go over to PROB, scroll down to NCR. 69, choose 5, and we'll multiply that by 26. And I hope you got the same answer that I did. Okay. Okay. So it's like bingo. Okay, that's fair. All right. So 292,201,338 possibilities of selecting 5 numbers from the 69 with the Powerball is what we get here. So your odds of winning the Powerball, or the lottery in this case, the Powerball in this instance, your odds of winning are pretty astronomically low. Okay, admittingly, they're pretty low. So you just have to take 1 out of that. So your odds of winning here, your probability of winning is going to be 1 over 292,201,338. So if I showed that off here, that's 1 divided by this previous answer here. And so this is going to be 3.42 times 10 to the negative 9th power, or again 0.0. Or if we were to convert this into a percentage, this is the percentage you have to win. 5. So there you go. That's yikes. I'm sorry. Sorry, JD. That's true though. It's true. Look at the percentage. The percentage is very low to win the Powerball jackpot. Okay. That is your percentage there. 0.000000342%. Okay. So 0.000000342% is going to be your actual percentage odds of winning that grand prize. Hear the phrase, your chances are low, but never zero. Well, that's true. Well, it isn't zero technically. It's just really, really tiny. It's never zero here. It's just really, really close to nothing. Now, I did tell the first class this, so I don't know if you guys do instant tickets or not. But that's a little bit of a different story. Instant tickets are a little bit different. So if you've played instant tickets before, instant tickets are again a different story. So the one thing about instant tickets is by law, Illinois has to post their unclaimed list of prizes. Okay, so you can see exactly here on the Illinois Lottery website, as you can see here on screen, about how many unclaimed prizes that there are for certain instant tickets that are offered throughout the state. They even tell how long they've been on the market and whatnot. Okay, when you go to a gas station or a grocery store or whatever, fine, fair enough. You go to a Jewel, you'll see these, of course, all the time in those machines near the registers. All right. In any case, um, you can kind of swing the odds a little bit in your favor for instant tickets because instant tickets come in a finite pool. And since they come in a finite pool, then of course, if there are more available prizes in a finite pool of tickets and there are more available prizes, well, then you have a higher chance of possibly winning one of those prizes in the pool since you have a finite pool that slowly goes down. So thing is, you have, say, for example here, I look at this, I said, this is a new game, blackjack for $1. So of course, this is a brand new game, so there's very few prizes that are taken out of the pool. So, for a game that just came out this week, would this be good? This would be decent. It wouldn't be greatest, but it would be decent. It'd be okay. It will probably be on the lower end. But like if I look at this though, this game has been out 10 weeks, 5 times the cash. It's $1 ticket. I said, is this a good idea to buy this ticket? Well, let's take a look at the possible pool that you get here. Well, there's five grand prizes for $10,000, eight prizes of $1,000 and whatnot. So it doesn't look like a majority of the prizes have been taken here. All right, it looks like it's a little close to half, or maybe a little more than that. So for 10 weeks in a prize pool, that's pretty good. So I would probably go to a gas station and be like, let me buy this ticket of 5 times the cash ticket. Okay, and I'm gonna swing the odds just a smidge in my favor. It doesn't mean it guarantees you victory. Of course not. The odds are still pretty rough here for instant tickets. Let's not kid ourselves. But at the very least, reading these can help you preview and strategize before you walk in to a gas station or a grocery store, and you can strategize about what tickets exactly that you want to buy at particular places to get the odds swinging a little bit more in your favor before you walk in the door. So, like if you walked in and says, "I want the $10,000 jackpot ticket," that's not a very good ticket to have because you have very few high level prizes that are available. This gives you very little incentive to waste $1 on that. Okay, you can if you want, but it's just not going to be in your favor when you have one $10,000 prize left, or you have 4 out of 40 $400 prizes left. Okay, there's not a lot, so that ain't that great. So yeah, there's another way you can kind of use stats and odds in your favor there. It's pretty helpful. Good beans. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Hey. Again, type no in the chat if you have no questions. Otherwise, I will move forward. Otherwise, type a question there. No. Now I've made you all gamblers for instant. Okay, maybe not. Thank goodness. Remember everything in moderation, of course. All right, so let's do another problem here. We're gonna do a different type of problem here. Yeah. Nay, indeed. All right. So let's take a look here at number 62. Okay. Let's look at 62 here. Over. All right. So now let's do some probabilities here. Okay. So we've looked at now uh combinations and whatnot. Let's look at we're gonna do a little bit more here with combinations, but now in terms of a probability. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so suppose that there are 55 Democrats and 45 Republicans in the U.S. Senate. A committee of 7 senators is to be formed by selecting members of the Senate randomly. Random Senate stuff. All right, so letter A, what is the probability that the committee is composed of all Democrats? Okay, so let's talk about our breakdown here for 62. 62 is we're given 55 Democrats and 45 Republicans according to this particular makeup of this particular Congress. Okay. And we just say, hey, what's the probability that we have all Democrats? Remember, we want a committee of 7. Okay, so we want to select 7. Okay, so can anybody tell me here, what is the probability that we select all Democrats? We're going to have 2 parts to this, okay? But we're going to use combinations in order to actually help ourselves out here. Remember, the order doesn't matter here in this case, because if I pick senators here, if I pick Jim, Bob, and Mary, Jim, Bob, and Mary is the same as Mary, Jim, and Bob. There's no difference between those 3 people, okay? No matter how I pick them in order, no matter what order I pick them in, I'm not putting them into any particular positions, okay? I don't put them in specific positions here. They're all part of the same random committee, and it is what it is, okay? It's again like if I just randomly chose people to be part of a meeting, same deal. They don't have any particular positions, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay, so how can I choose 7 people here? What should I write there? What do I pick for our numerator here? What do I get? Probability that all 7 committee members, they're all Democrats. What would I have here in this case then? What do you guys think? 55? Okay, that's part of the answer there, JD. But I'm not just selecting 55 people. Remember, 55 is the pool of Democrats that I have to select from. How many of those am I choosing? I'm selecting 100 of them from the 7, okay? All right. So I have 55 Democrats, and I'm choosing 7 of those to be in my committee. Again, purely random. There's no rhyme or reason why I'm selecting those 7. Selecting 7. but I'm selecting 7 from that pool of 55 people. Now, that's how I could select 7 Democrats. Okay, but now I want to take that over the total number of possibilities. So again, let's take a look here in this instance, okay? So again, let's break this down here for just a moment. All right, so this is selecting 7 from 55 Dems. Okay. Now that's for the numerator here. Now for the denominator here, going ahead and putting this down here as, again, the total number of possibilities. So the total number of ways to select 7 the total number of ways to select 7 from how many people overall are in the pool. How many senators do we have according to this problem? How many senators do we have? How many senators do we have? $100, right? So how can we express the denominator here? We're doing 100. How can we express the denominator? Okay, that's right. That's exactly right, Planet. Very good. That's right. Nice job. So 100 choose 7, right? That's the total number of possibilities that we're going to have. All right, so we have a certain select category. We have the 55 choose 7 to select 7 Democrats from the pool of 55. Out of the total number of possibilities is we have 100 senators, and we're randomly selecting 7 for whatever reason. And again, we do want to do that here on the calculator, so let's do that right now. Put this over here. Okay, so let's do 55. Hit the math key here. Probability, go NCR. 7 divide by 100. Math key here. This. Choose 7. And this is what we should get here. We should get 0.0127. Okay? So that's the probability for that first one there. Okay. Now we have a pretty good template here for this first one. Let's see if we can apply it here to the second one. So let's see if the probability of all repubs. Okay? Let's say the whole committee here happens to be Republican. Okay? So I'll give you a good hint here for this one here. Again, this will be 100 choose 7. That part's not going to change. Okay? What do we have up top here? So the probability that they're all Republicans. Probability that they're all Republicans. Probability that they're all Republicans. What do you guys get for that? 45 choose 7. Good. That's correct, Alyssa. Right? We're selecting 7 out of the pool of 45 Republicans that we had to start with. And what do we get here in this instance? Anybody give me a final answer for this one? What is this probability here? That's our answer. 0.0028. Good. That is correct. Very nice. All right. So far, so bueno. All right. Now there is part C here. So let's look at that here in this instance. So part C says, what is the probability that the committee is composed of 3 Democrats and 4 Republicans? So this time here, probably in more reality, it's not going to be all Democrats or all Republicans, but a fairly healthy mix between the two parties. So let's say we had, again, 3 Dems and 4 Republicans. So we have 3 Dems and 4 Republicans. All right, now I'll give you a hint for this one here. Of course, once again, going to have 100, choose 7 here on the bottom. So that part's not going to change. Okay, those are still total amount of possibilities to pick 7 people from a pool of 100. How about that numerator? What do you think? What are you going to get for that? How do we set that up? What do you guys think for about that one? What do you guys think? What do you guys think here about that numerator? I know this one's a little tough, but think about the pool of people that you have. Ooh, that's close. Now, I'm going to agree with both of those things. Hey, Dory. So we have 55 choose 3. I agree with this. We also have 45 choose 4 for the pool of Republicans. Now, here's the trick behind that planet is that we're not adding here these together. Remember, in this case here, they both comprise the total number of possibilities to make a 7-person committee. So instead of addition, that's correct, JD, we're going to go ahead and multiply those together instead. So let's multiply those together, and then we're going to get our final answer for this. Okay, so you have the right track there, Planet, which was correct. But yeah, the trick is that we're multiplying here. We're using the general multiplication rule. We're not actually adding these together here in this instance. Multiply that by 45, choose 4. We have a 100, choose 7, so just like so. And then we'll go ahead and see what we get here. Get 0.2442 would be our final answer for this problem. All right, any questions about that? Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Questions, comments, concerns? Any question? Nope. Nay. Nay. What am I drinking? I'm drinking hoji cha today. Today is hoji cha day. So that is what I'm drinking here. There. Hoji cha today for me. It is I wanted some tea in my system, so today was tea day. All right. Okay. Now, we're going to do one more question here from the handout. It's the last question here on the handout, and then I have a couple other things we have to talk about, of course. Talk about that. All right, so number 5. Let's talk about number 5. Number 5 says, what are the number of permutations with non-distinct items? Okay, so the number of permutations of n objects of which you have a of one kind, b of a second kind, ... z of a kth kind is given by n factorial divided by a factorial times b factorial times ... z factorial, where n is equal to a plus b plus blah 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 all the way down to z. Okay, now can't believe we've got the drink of the day. Hey, you guys got to ask. You guys got to ask, and I will acquiesce to your demands. um, okay, so here we have, let's say, an example here. Let's say we have a flag of 3 colors. Let's say we're trying to put an arrangement of flags with 3 colors. Now, let's say the flags themselves, they are manufactured the same exact way. They have the same dimensions. Everything is exactly the same. They're not unique in any respect. Okay? So let's say the flag can have different arrangements using the colors. So say we have 5 green, 3 red, and 7 blue flags, okay? How many arrangements are possible of the 15 flags? If we put it down on one flagpole there, let's say it's like a flag banner, one of those things that go up on a, like celebrating a birthday or something, one of those decorations. Let's say how many arrangements are possible of those 15 flags for the 5 green, 3 red, and 7 blue? And so all you have to do here is take 15 factorial, divide it by 5 factorial, times 3 factorial, times 7 factorial, and you get 360,360. So essentially, this basically takes care of non-distinct items because the flags themselves, the green flags, they're not distinct. They're all green. They all have the same dimensions. The red flags are all the same. They all have the same dimensions. The blue flags are all the same color. They all have the same dimensions. So they have just different non-distinct items at the end of the day. And we just want to take a look at how many arrangements are possible with those particular non-distinct items. And this is the way we essentially do it here at the end of the day. I'm not going to focus on this too much here because permutations and combinations can technically take care of most things. But this can be one of those things that can certainly be applicable in certain circumstances. I'm going to point that out there just as well. Okay. Are there any questions about that here? Yeah, Goldfish. I am. But you're always welcome in my class at any time. Moo. Okay. Now I do want to point one thing out here that is very important. Okay, just for class sake here. This is the end of section 5.5, but it is also the end of chapter 5 or section 5.6 as well. Now, there is a section 5.6, okay? That part does exist. However, section 5.6 is just a recap section for everything from 5.1 to 5.5. So basically, everything from 5.1 to 5.5 is just a recap section of 5.6. There are several chapters that have these particular recap sections. Okay, so I'm not going to obviously go over everything from 5.1 to 5.5 that we've already talked about here, but essentially we're effectively finished with chapter 5. Okay. All right. So it says a B of a second. Yeah. Sorry. Here you go. Here you go. All right. So basically we're effectively done with chapter 5, and we're just going to move on to chapter 6 on Wednesday. Okay, so on Wednesday we're going to move straight to chapter 6 here, but you're like, why is there section 5.6 and we never talked about it? Well, there is a section 5.6. It's just a recap of everything from 5.1 to 5.5. I'm not going to, it's basically the same type of questions of what you would see from sections 5.1 to 5.5. So if you want to, again, it's a good way to kind of refresh yourself there, just to know which method you need to follow for whatever. So it's just a recap section at the end of the day. All right. All right. Very good. Okay. All right. Great job here today, everybody. All right. Very good. Oh, you weren't done writing the example. I'm sorry, JD. My fault. There. There you are, my friend. Now you have a chance to write that second. No problem. I am here for you. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the time and patience that you guys afford me. Okay? You guys are very, very nice to me, so thank you so, so very much. All right? You guys are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. All right? I wish everyone has a wonderful day here. If you have questions for me, do have a bit of office hours, or again, just email me and I can get back online to talk with you. That is not a problem, okay? Thank you very much, everybody. If you're not, everybody, have yourself a wonderful day. We will see you back on Wednesday, okay? Wednesday, we'll see you back here for more, and we're doing, again, Chapter 6, all right? Have a wonderful day, all right? Take care of yourselves, everybody, and we will see you later. All right, everybody. See you later. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye, Alice. I'll be back in 5 hours.